Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have some exciting brand new gameplay details for the upcoming Marvel Spider-Man 2 that were revealed via the way of Insomniac Games creative director Brian Intihar in his interview with Famitsu. This article is on Gematsu. It was translated by the people over at Gematsu. And before we get into these details, if you're new to the channel, we would love to have you as always. And the way to do that is just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It will notify you every single time that Andreas and I upload. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and just dive right into these awesome new details. We got some brand new details about what the map size will be for this game, what to expect in terms of map size, and how the character switching will work between both Peter and Miles. A lot of fun, cool stuff, so let's just dive right into it. He starts off by saying, we've added Queens and Brooklyn this time around. So roughly speaking, the map size is about 2 times larger than the previous titles. Since these two areas are somewhat smaller and residential, I think you'll find them different from Manhattan. We've prepared some unexpected situations we haven't done before, like a battle on the river between two of the cities, so I hope you'll look forward to them. This is incredibly cool because now we know what to expect in terms of the map size for Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I think a lot of people going into this game were expecting that the map would be larger than Spider-Man 1 since that game was developed on the PS4's technology, and we know Miles Morales used a lot of that similar technology when it came out on the PS5, so it wasn't a true next-gen version of what Insomniac would be able to pull off with these titles, and it looks like that is exactly the case because this time around, on the true next-gen PS5 version, the map is getting significantly bigger with them adding Queens and Brooklyn. This is incredibly exciting. I'm really excited to see how they do more of these residential areas. That kind of takes me back to that Ultimate Spider-Man game from the mid-2000s that we've talked about a lot on the channel, how it had more of those suburban residential areas. So I'm excited to see how this time around Spider-Man is handled in areas like this. Now, this interview continues, or this article continues, by saying that game director Ryan Smith also confirmed that players will be able to freely switch between Peter Parker's Spider-Man and Miles Morales' Spider-Man when exploring the game's open world, though there are some situations during story missions where you have to control a specific character. So let's pause here for a second and talk about what this means exactly. So this means when you are open world free roaming the city of New York and Queens and Brooklyn and all of that, you will be able to, with a push of a button, switch between either Miles Morales or Peter Parker, whoever fits your playstyle better, whatever character you enjoy more. You're not going to be locked into using a specific character when you are just exploring around New York. I think this is a great choice by Insomniac because I think there's a lot of people we've talked to who want to use Miles Morales more frequently, and there's a lot of people who want to use Peter Parker more frequently, and I enjoy the fact that they are giving people the decision and the opportunity to switch freely and pick whoever they want to. It's just going to make things a lot easier, a lot more free-flowing for the players, but they also do talk about here that during certain situations throughout the story of Spider-Man 2, there are specific characters that they are going to lock you to, so you're either going to be locked as Miles or you're going to be locked as Peter Parker. You're going to have to play through them to get through certain sequences of the game. I think this is something we were all personally expecting, just given what we think the nature of the story is going to go, and it makes sense since they are going to be featuring both of these characters as the two main protagonists of this story, that there are moments where you have to play as a certain character and there are moments where you're going to have to play as a certain character. We saw that in gameplay trailer that dropped during the Sony showcase, where you were switching back and forth between Peter and Miles, and we really enjoyed how seamless they made that. It made a lot of sense within that overall cinematic scope of the game. It didn't feel janky, it didn't feel forced or anything. They found it looks like a very cool and just smooth way to switch you back and forth between the characters. Now, the one thing I do wonder if that was just more about that sequence in general, or if the game will play more like this. There was a lot of frequent switching back and forth between Miles and Peter in that sequence. It kind of goes back and forth a lot. So I'm very interested to see if that's how it's going to be for most of this game, where it's a frequent change back and forth, or whether it's going to be extended gameplay sessions with a certain character, say a few hours with a certain character, and then it switches up to the other character for a few hours, or again, if it's going to be like that gameplay sequence where every couple minutes you're going back and forth. I think there are pros and cons to both, and I'm just very interested to see how they handle this. Now, one thing that this doesn't mention is whether or not that will include character switching to MJ or Genki or any of those other characters like we saw in the first Insomniac Spider-Man game, where there were some of the MJ missions. We haven't seen anything in regards to that, at least not from this article. I have a feeling, given the fact that we are going to be dealing with two main characters here, that being Miles and Peter, there's not going to be a lot of time for Insomniac to also throw in some of these MJ missions. And I know, talking to a lot of people in our community who are huge fans of this game, they weren't big fans of how they were forced to do some of those MJ missions and how they were shoehorned into the story. And whether or not, however you feel about that, I just know a lot of people weren't huge fans of that. And I just don't think Insomniac is going to have the time to also include missions like that in their gameplay. But we don't know for sure until we know for sure. Now, there's one more paragraph to get through here in this article. It's where the interview continues. And it says, there are things that are exclusive to a specific character depending on the content, but we're also preparing content that allows you to play as whichever character you like, Smith said. While they're both Spider-Man and have some things in common, Miles is speedier than Peter, and they each have their own quirks, so we hope you can choose your favorite character. I love a lot of the details that come out of this little sentence here from Smith, where he talks about some of the differences you can expect between Peter and Miles, where Miles is quicker than Peter. He'll offer you that faster gameplay, I guess faster combat animations. He just moves quicker, so if you're looking for a faster experience, you'll be able to do that or accomplish that with Miles. And if you're looking for a different type of gameplay experience, then you will be able to accomplish that with Peter. So they're not going to just be a reskin of the same character. It looks like, and it seems like, Insomniac has taken the effort here to really make Miles and Peter feel uniquely their own character and offer abilities and things that only that character can offer. So there's actually going to be reasons to switch between these different characters, and perhaps even some of the situations and combat situations and stealth situations that you find yourself in. It will be advantageous to use certain characters or a certain character over another one. So it looks like you're going to have to be very strategic in which character you choose based off of the situation you're in or the type of gameplay that you are trying to accomplish, which is really cool. And it's nice to see Insomniac actually take the extra step here to accomplish something like that and not just make them reskins of the exact same character with the exact same abilities. We already know that they're all going to feature their unique skill tree abilities with a combined skill tree between them for the abilities that they are going to share. But it's just nice to see further confirmation that Insomniac is taking those further steps to make sure each character feels uniquely their own. And also where he finishes off with how they each have their own quirks, so we hope you can choose your favorite character. Again, I love that Insomniac is pushing the ability to choose who you want to play as and giving you that freedom to change it throughout your open world free roam experience, where again, yeah, you will be locked to certain characters during the gameplay and during the story sequences of this game, but when you're just exploring around New York, having a good time swinging around, you're going to have the freedom to choose either Miles or Peter, and I just think that is a phenomenal choice. So guys, let us know down below in the comments your thoughts on these new gameplay details. I think these are huge new details. I think these are very exciting new details. These are definitely things I wanted to see in this game, so I'm really happy to get confirmation about all of this. And let us know, what character are you going to choose more often when you're playing through Spider-Man 2? Are you more of a Miles Morales Spider-Man type, or are you more of a Peter Parker Spider-Man type? Let us know down below in the comments. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for us for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we will see you all